July 18th. What have you fucking got for us? Well, we've got, the moon will go void at 10:30 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. It's going to go void with a square to the sun in Cancer, which is going to cause all the sorts of fucking fights that you want to possibly have. Okay, I might do a longer rambling video about that void moon because it is fight city. Okay, we also have on the 18th, that will be the last quarter moon in Aries that's going void. And at 2:45 p.m, Mercury in Leo will officially be retrograde. Okay, so huge day. And that's not even touching on the aspects that are going to be fucking us around. Okay, so they start, the overnight only got really one aspect. So the last one tonight is at 8:30, and then we're having one around midnight, and then nothing until 7. So it's an okay night to be getting some sleep. So at 12:35 a.m, the moon in Aries is making a little positive aspect with the North Node in Pisces. And it's because we've been going through these very frustrating processes of being like kind of forced to be ourselves, or to at least feel what it would be like if we showed up as ourselves in situations, okay? So because of that, we've got this kind of energy that sort of says, well, now like go forward, start something. Like this is what you wanted, right? And so then at 7:18 a.m, this one could be a little bit frustrating as well, because it really, like Mars in Virgo is around, right? So Mars in Virgo is very detail oriented. It wants to do the list. It wants to make sure that everything's being done properly, and it can be really fucking judgmental, okay? So when the moon in Virgo is involved, we can be like dealing with some really fucking judgmental stuff, right? And so this particular one is like something needs to be let go of so that you can move forward, right? So there's something, look, and Virgo involved, it's likely to be something just like overly judgmental or perfection seeking, okay, that needs to be let go of, right? Now that will cause a bit of stress, because around 9 a.m, Mars then kind of, so like you get this aspect with the moon where it sort of says, hey, something needs to be let go of, or you're going to get stuck here and you're not going to be able to move forward. And then after that, there's this annoying aspect with Pluto in retrograde that like is kind of forcing you to make those decisions, because like there is this stuck energy, and that stuck energy is going to make you be like a bit obsessive or a bit compulsive. And so you actually need to make the decision in order to push past whatever obstacle it is that's showing up, right? And then the sun is going to square the moon at 10:37. Okay. And this is when it's going void, right? So it's going void with this fucking aspect, which is awful. And it is like a very childish energy, because Cancer is the energy of, you know, needing to be kind of loved and nurtured by the mother, and Aries is the baby of the zodiac. And so this is really a friction moment. This is a lot of obstacles that will be very demanding. Okay, will be very demanding, because it wants growth. It wants some kind of action. And the whole point of it is that these two signs, both kind of wanting the same thing, are having a bit of a conflict of interest, right? And there is tension growing, but that is to fuel your engine, right? That's to fuel your engine. So it's not nice, and it won't be nice to sit in for the hours that we will be sitting in that energy because of the void moon, but it is for the benefit of healing, because when we look at what else is happening throughout that void moon period, we're getting an aspect with Jupiter in Cancer, right? So we're expanding the idea, and we're kind of seeing where order needs to be created, right? Where something needs to be shifted, because there is like a restless energy and a need to kind of organize and get through the thoughts, probably relating to family stuff, right? Mother wound stuff, right? And then at 1:02 p.m, while the moon is still void, it's meeting up with Chiron, the childhood wound, okay? And so those two are like, they're trying to get you curious a little bit, right? They want to have a bit of a curiosity when it comes to how to move through it, because even though this could be a bit of a challenging aspect, right, because we're dealing with Aries energy, so a lot of fire, a lot of kind of foot stomping energy, they can kind of come together if they're not trying to fight for dominance, right? If the moon in Aries isn't trying to have its feelings, and your Chiron wound, your of identity, isn't trying to have its feelings and be right, then those two things can actually work together. And we can use that energy of what we find there to push through, to move forward, okay? And then the moon's going to go into Taurus and shit's going to get a bit more stubborn, okay? A bit more stubborn. And this will be the first time that we get the moon in Taurus since Uranus moved into Gemini from Taurus. So the Taurus energy is like a little bit kind of trying to figure out where the fuck it is, because Uranus isn't having an impact on it anymore. And Uranus is this planet of chaos. So Taurus is trying to ground down again. It's trying to like find its stability again. So the first thing it does, because we've got Uranus at 0 degrees, is it's going to meet up with Uranus. Just before it does that, there is an aspect that could show, this is at 6:30 p.m., okay, that could show up some fucking stubborn bullshit when it comes to relationships, right? And this could be someone being stubborn and not wanting to do your way, or this could be somebody trying to block out the kind of curiosity building about whether or not someone is right for them, okay? And then 6:45 p.m., Uranus comes into the game and kind of says, let's look at this from a different fucking perspective, okay? And then at 9:12 and 9:34, Saturn and Neptune, both in retrograde, come into play. And we're being asked, what you started building at the end of May, is that still stable? Do you still feel safe with it? And what you started working on since the end of March, what you were dreaming of having, is that also something that you fucking wanted, okay? Then 10:37 p.m, the moon is going to square Pluto, all right? Pluto in retrograde. So this is like from 9 o'clock all the way until 10:37, we're dealing with the energies of retrogrades, right? The Taurus moon is asking questions of them about stability, about self-worth, about hard work. And so at 10:37 p.m, it makes this square to Pluto retrograde. And this is like, it's going to be demanding because, you know, Taurus is very stubborn and demanding, and Aquarius is also quite rebellious and demanding. And one wants to stick its feet into the ground and only want to do things the way that it wants to do. And the other one is like the outlier who like wants to like see what is going on from an outside perspective. Okay. Now, the battle aspect, it wants you to find love. Right? It wants you to work your way through the stubbornness when it comes to doing your inner work, when it comes to looking at who the fuck you really are and why you hid parts of you away. And it wants you to be honest with yourself, okay? And to stop assuming that you are deserving of unconditional love just because you exist. The only person who you deserve unconditional love from because you exist is yourself. And you need to start there, okay? Because until you start there, unconditional love from people who love you doesn't fucking exist, because you won't fucking believe it until you love yourself in that way, okay? Now then at 11:15, we get this aspect that is going to be stressful. Mars in Virgo is involved. This is going to be like a stressful motivation to kind of move forward, right? And you will have to make a decision on something, right? Mars wants to move. It wants to go down the list. Moon in Taurus wants to not do much different, okay? And you're going to have to decide. You're going to have to decide which way you want to move. And then at 11:36 p.m., Mercury, now retrograde in Leo, is going to meet up with a positive aspect of Venus in Gemini. And this is going to be great because Mercury in Leo retrograde is having us think back to all of the times that maybe relationships didn't let us shine our light. And this curiosity within our current relationship dynamics is going to allow us to kind of review which of our current relationship dynamics allow us to shine our light of authenticity. Okay? So, huge day. Be journaling, please. Stay weird.